Right, welcome everybody. We are going to be doing rock painting. This is a dragon's eye that I've done this evening. At the back you'll see a picture of one that I've done before. This one's actually been placed out now, so I can't show you this one as an actual item. However, this is what we're going to be doing this evening. Is learning how to do this quite simple design on a pebble. You can use slate if that's something that you've got that's easier to get hold of. As long as it's got a nice smooth surface, then anything's doable. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is make sure that you wash your pebble. Get off any residue, any residue that might be on it. Just mainly so that you've got a clean surface to work on. Now I use Posca pens. I'm using various colours, and on this one I'll do another purple one like this one just here. So the first thing you need to do is draw an eye shape on your stone. Now I tend to do it with pencil because I think pencil is easier. If you make a mistake, just take a rubber and it rubs off. It's not a problem. The next thing that I would do is I would colour the eye in the black Posca, so that you've got the outline of your subject. Now you don't have to be too exact because it's going to be all covered eventually. Obviously not forgetting the centre of the eye. Okay, once you've done that, it should look something along the lines like this. This should be fairly easy for anybody to do. Now what I next do, the next thing that I do is I would grab whatever colour I'm going to do the centre of the eye with. So this part of the eye here, and that obviously would depend on what you want it to look like at the end. Now I'm going to do green. Obviously green makes more sense. It is a sort of a dragony eye colour. I'll try and get my phone to prop up properly. Okay, so what I would start with is a light colour in the centre. So I would paint this colour all over the eye. And so again, you don't have to be too exact because we are going to fill parts of it in with other colours too. Okay, and that should give you something that looks very similar to this. Then I tend to grab a darker green and I go round the edge in the darker green, so it gives it a bit of depth. Again, eyes are like fingerprints, they're all different, so it's not essential that you are too exact with it. So mine looks like this. So you've now got a couple of colours on the eye. My next job would be to start doing the scales that you see going around the eye here. and I would do these in black to start with. Black gives you then your base of what you're going to and how you're going to it's going to end up looking. Now again, doesn't need to be exact. I tend to just look at half moons or thereabouts. Okay, so it would look like this. Now if you wanted to add more to it, you can. You don't have to, you can leave it just like that. That's absolutely fine too. I'm just going to touch up the tiny bit here that I've gone over with the green. Okay, so your stone should look something along the lines of this. Okay. Okay, now what I would do is I'm going to do the purple colours as I've done in this stone. I would start off with the outside colour. So I would start with my lightest colour first. So this is my lightest Posca. Now this is a lavender, this is called. And I would just go around the outside of each of those black lines that we've done. Again, don't worry about it being too exact. It's fun. It's meant to be fun. Obviously, if you want to add more layers of scales, then you can do. I'm just doing this just with one layer on this stone, just so you get an idea of how to do it. Okay, so we've gone round each of them with that colour, and this is how it looks. So nothing too taxing, nothing too difficult. Next, I'm going to use my next colour, which is my next shade. This one is called Lilac, and I'm going to go just on the inside of the ones that I've just done, so it makes almost like a rainbow sort of effect. You'll be able to see these ones slightly better than the last ones because obviously it's a darker colour. Okay, so that's all of those done. So this should give you this sort of effect. This is how it should now look. So you've just got these half of a rainbow. And finally we go with the darker of the purples. This one is called Violet. And we fill in any stone colour that's left now between those two colours. So we just fill in these tiny little gaps here. Just fill the pockets up with colour. Again, doesn't matter if you go over lines. It's not essential. It hasn't got to be the neatest. It's just meant to be a bit of fun. So as I said, if you wanted to do more lines of scales, as I have done with this, you can do 2 or 3 different layers and finish it off slightly differently. Okay, so my next job would be to add the gold. You can use gold, you can use silver. You don't have to use any colour at all. I just think the gold makes it look quite effective. So I grab my gold Posca pen and I will now go round the outside of each of these just to add a little bit of something else. Generally go over the black, but it's quite a translucent gold, so you can see the black through it, so it's quite nice. Okay, and we need to fill in the gap in the eye here. So I'm going to use a grey. I always think grey looks quite effective. Now I used quite a light grey in this one. I'm going to use a slightly different grey in this one. This one is called Slate Grey, slightly darker. Which might give it a slightly different effect. There's no right or wrong colours. It's about your imagination. Okay, so we filled those triangles in there. Okay, now I need to go back to the black. I'm not sure I actually like this dark grey, so I might leave this to dry and just put a slightly lighter colour on it. Now what you need to do is we've got to draw the corner part in here, and we've also got to draw the black part in here. Now this is just a simple triangle, nothing too hard. Again, big or as small as you want it, depending on how you want your finished eye to look. Once you've drawn your triangle, it's easy because you can just colour it in. Now the Posca pens I've been working with for a few months now, I've found that these are actually the better ones to use, just purely because they are an acrylic based. So they are semi-waterproof. They're not completely waterproof, but they are semi-waterproof. I have tried Sharpies. Sharpies are okay if you're going to keep them in the house. However, if you're looking at putting them out in the garden or possibly putting them out around your local area, which I've done, then it possibly wouldn't work. The moment you tend to varnish them, the Sharpies seem to run, so it's not the best finished look with sort of like marks on them. Now, so I didn't like that dark, so I'm going to go with the slightly lighter grey. I think it just looks a little bit more natural. Okay, so we filled that in. Just need to pop the little corner bit in the corner of the eye, just there. And as you can see, the eye is almost finished. It's quite an easy design to do, and I think anybody can do it, but it's quite effective. Now with the gold, I generally go round the eye as well. As you can see, I've gone round the outside of the eye, and then I've re-highlighted the black where I need to. So just round the edges of the eye, just seems to set it off quite nicely. Okay, so your eye's almost finished. There's a little bit of gold in the corner just here. Okay, now the only other thing that I would probably add on to it now is just the white that you would put in the eye, so it makes it look real, so it makes it look like it's looking at you. Let's touch that black up again just there. I notice I can't actually see it very well. There we go. Just touch up the black a little bit. There we go. Right, and then what I do is I do a couple of dots down here, a couple of dots up here, and then 3 dots down here. Again, you can put them wherever you want. There's no hard and fast rule, and that's what you will end up with. Say, if you want to go on and do further scales on it, you can do, so that you can get it to look like this. You can also do it in different colours as well. So you can do the eye in a blue, you could do the scales in a blue, you could do red, you could do whatever colours you've got really. And there you go. That's my lizard eye. I hope you enjoyed it.